Hi everyone, welcome back to another episode of Conversations with Coffees.
Fireworks. Boom.
Oh my gosh, I can't with this man.
Oh, we had a couple test runs and I kept doing it and I'm like, it's funny, we can do this.
And we recorded a whole 10 minutes and
That's
no
right.
mic was on.
No mic was on. Yay.
Today's our day.
Yes. How's everybody doing? Hope everything's going great. We are currently at a friend's land. Camper set up. We've been here for what? A few days?
A week.
A week?
Yep.
So,
a week. We're starting week 2.
Yep. And then in that week, homeschool started.
Yes. And football.
So, my kid has a extremely attractive teacher.
Stop.
But that started last week. How's that going?
It's going good. I really enjoy teaching him. I think that he's a great student. And
Is he a troublemaker?
he loves to learn. Only sometimes when he didn't eat breakfast or oversleeps, through his alarm.
Yep.
But I think that we're getting the kinks worked out. I really do enjoy teaching him. We need to work on his handwriting, so hopefully that gets better. And maybe I'm going to teach him cursive.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
Do you know cursive?
Oh my word.
We grew up in the generation where you had no cursive.
No, I had cursive. We had to learn it.
I know, so I said we grew up in the generation where we had to know cursive.
Oh.
They don't.
Right.
I think it's cool.
Well, and you need to sign your name. I mean,
Yeah,
two important documents. So you don't want to look like a child when you sign your name. I mean, I guess you could just scribble.
Right.
Fake it till you make it.
Yep.
Right?
Yeah. So, yeah, like I said, currently here, counting down the days where I am more than, chomping at the bit to put this camper and that truck in the wind and go out west, towards the west, all that good stuff. So
I mean, I'm excited about going up north. I'm not excited about being super cold or not being able to
I don't know that I want to go
keep
up
the camper warm. Well, we have to.
Well, I don't want to go. Well, I know Missouri.
Have to. Just kidding. Yeah. We want to. Just maybe not that season.
Well, no, I mean it's definitely going to be something we have to figure out how to keep warm in this thing.
I don't want to wear snow boots in the camper just so I can, not shiver.
I'm sure I've got quite a few people in Michigan that camp on the regular. I don't know if they camp in the winter. I don't think they usually do.
Probably not, because they're normal.
I think I have an uncle. I know I have an uncle who pretty much lives out of his camper as well for work. So maybe I'll hit him up and get some top secret information or something on keeping warm. Mm-hmm. But football season, that's in full swing. We are at our second week now of practicing, so that's the games should be starting in probably the next couple of weeks. So after that, we're just going to count down the weeks to November so we can
hit the road.
Yeah, and be excited about it the whole time. So
yes.
I was talking to Angela last week, and she had noticed I wasn't being myself, and she was trying to get information out of me, and I'm one of those just old school, I guess. I don't like to talk about my feelings. I don't. I process it however long it needs, however long I take to process it, and I just kind of deal with it on my own. But I guess this one just wasn't really going away on its own, so
right.
That's kind of what we wanted to talk about today. Not sure if anybody else is having this issue, but you gonna pull it up? Mm-hmm. Okay. So I was watching. I'm a huge UFC, boxing, football, huge UFC guy. Paddy the Baddy, if anybody who doesn't know, it's Paddy Pimblett, I think is how you say his last name.
Pimblett, yeah.
Pimblett. Anyways, UFC fighter, was fighting a few weeks ago, and he did his post-interview in the ring, and he was talking about...
After he won, of course.
Yep, so, exactly. Rising star, he'll be huge. Anyways, squirrel. But he had this... doing his interview, he was talking about his good friend that had killed himself, and the stigma behind men that don't care to talk about their feelings, and how he would much rather his friend cry on his shoulder than go to his funeral the next week.
Right.
And I'm not saying my thought process on my life right now is... I'm not comparing and saying, right. But I don't know, we just got to thinking about it, and after watching that, and I was like, he's absolutely right. Men don't talk about their feelings, and
well, let me read the quote.
I'm guilty as charged. I don't talk about. Yeah, please.
Yeah, it says, or he said, there's a stigma in this world that men can't talk. Listen, if you're a man and you've got weight on your shoulders and think the only way to solve it is by killing yourself, please speak to someone.
Absolutely, please. Yeah. You need to.
And, thankfully,
encourage you to.
Married several years, and I am very perceptive on things that change in and around me, and within my friend group or family group. And so I was... just noticing that he was sleeping a lot longer than he normally does, and at first I thought, this is a new life change. Everything's changing. I mean, even your vehicle that you drove changed. Literally everything changed. Yep. So I thought, maybe he's just taking it all in. He's trying to, get his grasp on what is going on or how to deal with it. So I just let it go for a few days, maybe even a week.
And I'm not the one to sleep in.
No, not at all. He's not like a early riser, like rise and shine, let's be happy, go lucky. No, he gets up, rubs the sleep out of his eyes, and drinks his sweet tea, and give him about 30 minutes and he's ready to go. Mm-hmm. But he does not sleep in. I guess we both feel like this. Like if you're sleeping past, 8 o'clock, then I feel like you're wasting the day. Like you're not being productive, you're not getting things done, and maybe you just don't like your life. I don't know.
Right.
Either way, so I said something to him like, hey, like I've noticed that you've been sleeping a lot. Like, why? Are you depressed or something? And he just gave me the man answer, like, I don't know.
I mean, seriously, that was... I'm not gonna... And you know this as well as anybody. I mean, I'm not one to sit around and talk about my feelings.
Right.
I think I hate to use
I talk about mine enough, so he probably feels like he doesn't need to talk about his.
But I feel like I'm old school in that way, and I hate to even use the term old school and, people clamming up, but I'm pretty sure
It's probably the way that you were taught as well.
No, it was.
Like, I
mean, my
boys don't cry,
and they don't say I love you. I mean, which is absolutely.
Good thing you grew out of that one.
Hey, well, good thing I never picked up that bad habit.
Right.
I tell my kids I love them, and I tell my wife I love her, and show affection and stuff like that.
Yes. You're very good at that.
But I don't talk about feelings. About what I'm going. Yeah. No, I tend to process it myself, and
I see it as bottling up or just shutting me out.
Right.
But at the same time, that's how I know that's how he processes things. But whenever he's making silly mistakes or sleeping longer than he typically does, usually I bring it to your attention, right. And you self-reflect and figure it out. But
and that's what that's exactly what happened, and that's what I'm doing. Like after she even said it, I'm like, well, damn, no, she's right. Like something is bothering me, and I knew that, but I'm like, God, I didn't realize I was portraying that out to my family, and then I started really thinking, like, oh crap, they're seeing me in, I don't want to say a negative light, they're seeing me in a different light, the light that I don't like to portray. I don't.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, well, I don't, I'm trying to handle it in a sense with, okay, this is a life change. This is, if anybody,
Huge life change.
right, and if anybody knew me growing up and the life I had as a child compared to the life we created, there's a reason that life was created the way it was. It was because I told myself I would never, ever have to go back to how I lived as a child. Never was going to happen, and I would work 18 jobs just to make sure that never happened. Well, now we've done that. I've worked hard. We have worked hard our entire lives to where now we can afford to do what we're doing. But I also feel like, and I've mentioned this on here before, I'm the man, and I feel like my family, my job is to provide shelter and a security net. Mm-hmm. And I'm processing it. Like, am I doing that?
Right.
Yes, they've got shelter, and we all love staying here. We do. We do love the camper lifestyle.
Right. But like Michael said, there are many changes. And with that comes new challenges or maybe new ways of thinking about things. But to be honest, I miss my big fancy shower. I love that thing.
Yes.
And, to go in there at night and just wash off all the day and enjoy, that big open space. And then, here, I feel like we're working harder these days, and now I have this little tiny space. And not that this shower is any less than the other shower. It's just a bigger space.
It is.
So, again, it's just a challenge that I'm going to have to figure out, I guess, how I can think of it as a positive,
right.
I guess. I mean, and I do have
what we have.
Right. We do have, a little port that we can make an outdoor shower if we were, planning to stay for a long time. There's bathhouses. There's plenty of other options. It was just me and my feelings, and I was thinking, man, I miss my big, like a toddler throwing a tantrum. Like, I miss my big shower.
But those are things that we built through hard work. When we originally bought our house, that stuff
didn't even have a bathroom.
That stuff wasn't in there. We built that stuff to accommodate what lifestyle we wanted, and then we just sold it all.
And again, that was, a change and a challenge, and we made it exactly perfect for us. Right. And I feel like, we are going to make this perfect for us. It's pretty dang awesome now.
Right.
But, this is just week 3. And again, we are starting all new things like football and homeschool and just living in an RV versus a home. So the cleaning, way better. Cooking, not hard. Putting away groceries may be a little harder. And the shower thing. I need to figure it out and find a different perspective on thinking about that. Not, I miss this big shower. Thank goodness I have, a shower and just humble myself.
But to bring it all back around, the whole reason I brought up the quote from Paddy the Baddy was, I clam up. And no, I don't talk about my problems. I never have. Angela knows when to pry, and I do share with her when it comes to that point. Like, she knows when to do, and I don't know why I do it, but I just do. I clam up, and I'm just like, all right, let me lay in the bed till 2-3 o'clock in the morning, just thinking about all the troubles in the world and also what needs to be done for my family for us to start feeling better.
Yeah.
But I hate to use. I hate. There is a stigma.
Yeah, and I was going to say that again. There is a stigma in the world about men and how they're not supposed to have feelings, or they can't express their feelings.
And I don't know why we do it.
True.
I know, but I don't know why we. I can tell you why I do it is. I don't feel like I want to burden my family with what's going on in my head, because I'm the problem solver in this family.
I can solve some problems.
No, I know you can, but it's not. To me, I would much rather you lay your problems on me and me just...
You carry all the weight.
Carry all the weight. I mean, and is that part of the stigma? It is. So I could sit here and I could tell you why I do it. I mean, I don't know why, and these are minute problems compared to those that are, seriously thinking about hurting themselves.
Just mental illness in general is a huge problem in our country. And, even getting therapy for adults, it is difficult.
It's extremely. We know firsthand.
And when you go and you spend a couple months with a brand new therapist, it's a brand new stranger that you get to tell all your problems to. And then they start to help you and, got a new job.
See ya.
Or, I'm sorry, we're not able to see you every month like we were before. We're going to switch it to every 3 months. Like, for a person that has a mental illness, that is detrimental, and it messes with your whole psyche. Like, oh wow, like if you're thinking, I am not good enough, I'm not a good person, or I can't deal with these certain things, and then this therapist that is supposed to be your stick trying to pull you out of the mud says, I can't help you anymore, or I'm moving on to a different job, so good luck in your endeavors. What? And I mean, this is a grown-up, speaking, but could you imagine how children feel?
Right.
And then some people, they're like, forget therapists, they're awful, all of them. And I mean, maybe they did have a bad experience, but...
Well, no, I mean, being outside of the box here, I would rather not share or open up to anybody that I know is not going to be there.
Right.
I would rather share with my wife, who we can try to figure out those issues.
Yeah.
And I'm not sitting here saying, like, if I have ever had a thought to where I felt like I wanted to hurt myself, my wife is going to be the first one to know. My wife is going to be the first one to pick up on the problem, but my wife is also going to be the first one to know the problem, because I'm going to express that to her if it ever got to that point. Some people don't have that.
Okay, but again, there is a stigma about that as well, because if you think
that's true,
that you're going to hurt yourself,
right,
the last person that you would want to tell would be someone close to you.
And I wouldn't know.
Right.
I wouldn't know because I've never had that feeling before.
But I think I would be the last person that
you're
that
probably
would,
right.
Yeah.
You know what? Yeah,
and so then
I would hope not, because I view you as a best friend, not just my wife, that I would open up.
Right, there's such shame and guilt in that feeling of itself.
Thinking about it, sitting right here thinking about it, like I've never, out of all of the struggles in my life, and we have had, and I have had, we've had struggles and no one could possibly believe. I've never had those thoughts of doing something like that, so I wouldn't know. I've never, my brain has never even
went there.
So yeah. I wouldn't know. But I was just sitting here thinking, as I could talk to you about my problems. We know this. There's some things I don't want to talk about, right? So I'm very fortunate, very, very fortunate to have cousins that we used to call it Friday night Marco Polo, right? Mm-hmm. This is what we did. We got on our polos Friday night when we all weren't doing anything. There's usually about 7 or 8 of us, and every one of us would be by a fire, probably, most likely, but we, on a Friday after football season, of course, high school football, because we're usually probably all at a high school football game. Squirrel. Anyways, we would sit back and we would just conversate through Marco Polo, kind of how everyone was doing their week, and we would do it just about every Friday, all 8 of us. Yeah,
and at first it would be picking and playing, but as
it can get deep.
Yeah, no, as the alcohol is flowing and, the fire is burning out, then they always get into these deep conversations that are super meaningful, and if they would just play them back and listen to their words, because they are truly wise. But, I mean, that sounds silly, but they are.
But that reminds me, 2 years ago when we were hit with the hardest time, I think, probably in our lives 2 years ago. I had probably all 7 or 8 of those cousins pick up. I wasn't on polo. I wasn't talking to anybody. And they picked up on that. And, hey, man, I hadn't heard from you in a couple days. They would call. And then my one cousin, I hated it for him because he heard everything. Like, that night in particular, everything felt like it came crashing down. And he just ended up calling me at that very moment. And I did pick the phone up, and we talked. I don't know, we probably talked for an hour or so, but I'm thankful that he was there. I'm thankful he called me because I was able to get that out, and I couldn't go to her at this time. I needed to be the strongest of strong for her 2 years ago, so I couldn't go to her with that stuff. She had her own that she had to deal with, and I needed to be that strong face for her. And I'm glad, he called, and then I think 2 or 3 more cousins called shortly after that, and then we finally were able to get on a polo and lighten my load a lot, but also they gave me the opportunity to talk to them individually, which really helped. So
yeah, I think different people. Go ahead.
No, and I say all of that to say, find somebody. If you don't have a friend, if you don't have the family that you can go to and talk about stuff like that, go find help. And she's trying to explain there is help out there. Yes, it might be shit that you're going to have to go through to talk to different people because that person's going to leave, but there's groups. Those groups don't necessarily, those usually, the people that are facilitating, they sometimes change out, I'm assuming.
Yeah.
But
you'll know everyone.
Your group there doesn't. So, like Paddy the Baddy said, he would much rather somebody cry on his shoulder than go to his funeral. And I think everybody could say the same thing.
Oh yeah.
And feel that same way. But
so if you have a group of cousins, they can also be therapists.
Yeah, absolutely. Mine are great therapists. I don't even have to pay them.
Right. But yeah, I mean, mental illness is really a huge issue in our society today. And if you or someone you know needs help, go get it. Stop carrying the weight on your own shoulders and go find someone to talk to. Find a group.
Please.
Find a therapist. Find a good friend, unbiased friend. And, spill your guts. And hopefully they'll give you good feedback, good insight, and hopefully make your day better. So
I talk to my sisters too. I do. And my brother, he's in there on the Marco Polos with us, so when I throw the term out, cousins, he's there. But yeah, he was right there with us through the process too. But
and speaking of your 2 years ago, so I'm supposed to be scheduled for my last surgery next week, and we have a pre-op appointment today.
Yep.
So everyone, wish me luck. Hopefully this will be the last one, and
she is talking about,
I will be done with this.
Yeah, but I don't think we've never talked about. We have. That you've had breast cancer.
Yeah.
On there.
We have.
Anyway, so for those of you who think you get cancer and like on the movies, poof, you're fine in 6 months.
Lies. Yeah. All lies. 2 years later.
2 years later, still going through surgeries.
Yes.
But
and pain and therapy or physical therapy.
What a freaking what a trooper you are.
Thanks, babe.
Yep. But find somebody, y'all, if you got somebody to talk to. I got shoulders, 2 of them.
Me too.
Just bring me some beer. We'll talk. That's it. We'll talk as long as you want to. You bring me beer and some firewood. Shoot. We talk till the morning comes.
If you guys like this episode, please like, share, or subscribe. We would greatly appreciate it.
And if you know Paddy the Baddy, tell him I said what's up.
Y'all have a good one.